Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be doing another look with the JACLYN Hill Divine Neutrals Morphe collab. The first look I did, I used my Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Crease Proof Concealer, and I did not like how it performed with this palette. So today I am switching up my base, and I am using the Juvia's Place Eye Primer in the shade number 1 to see if it performs, much more smoother than the other application, because I feel like the other concealer was a little more on a thicky, greasier side. That it gave me a hard time blending the shadow, so I want to try a different base to see how that works. So I'm just going to make sure the base is smoothed out on my lid so we can start placing the shadows. So I'm going to pull you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so I am going to start with, I'm going to try to do like a matte shade this time. We'll see, because y'all know I love my glitters. But I'm going to start with the BH Cosmetics number 12 brush, and it's just this fluffy blending brush. And we are going to take the shade, let's do Good Vibes. No, let's not do that. Let's start with Just Barely, which is the second shade, the second matte shade on the top row. And we're going to just pack it on the brush, and we're going to place this shade all in our crease area. And I want to pack first to place it, because I did not set the base this morning, because I still wanted to see how it performs without it being set, since I did not set the base on the last look that I did with this palette. So we're just going to continue to apply this shadow right in the crease area and a little bit above, going up to the brow bone. Like I said, I want to try an all matte look, but who knows. I'll go these ways in a minute quickly, because I love me some shimmers. We're going to try our best to stick with an easy matte look, because I love Morphe formula. So that's why I was assuming in the last video it must be the base that I used, because it was like super thick, and it wasn't dried down, not even a little bit. So I'm just continuing to pack this shade in my crease area. Now this is like the perfect transition shade for my skin tone. I like this this shade. So now we're going to blend the shade. Oh yeah, it was the base, because I wasn't even able to blend the way I'm blending now with that other base. That's why a lot of times when I use shadows, I use different bases if it doesn't work for me, because sometimes it's the actual base that you use rather than the shadows. So we're just packing a little bit more because I want it a little deeper. So I'm just lightly building it. And we're going to lightly blend again the entire crease area. And I do like this shade. Like I say, it's like really, really nice, soft transition shade. So now we're going to go in with the shade next to it, which is Good Vibes. And we're going to pack this shadow on the same blending brush. And this time we're going to apply this right directly in the crease and not as high as the shade we just placed, which is Just Barely. So we're going to start blending towards that outer V right up in the crease area, but not going up high, just directly in the crease. And you're going to just slowly build this shade in your crease area rather than just packing it. And that's what we're going to do, just continue to lightly build it directly in the crease area. And the same thing for the other eye, just placing it directly in my crease and blending. And I'm placing it on the tip of the brush. That way you can control where you are placing the eyeshadow. Especially when you're trying to be precise with the shadows. At least that's what I do. I place it on the tip of the brush. When I want to go like directly in the crease or directly on the lid. And I use the side of the brush when I want to go like up a little higher and just fluff the shadow like pretty much in a larger portion without being precise. So we're still blending this shade right in the crease. And they are blending like perfectly. Perfectly. So I'm just going to apply a little bit more. So now we are going to go in with the ColourPop E2, and it's just this fluffy brush. And we're going to go in with the shade, we used Booked. Let's go in with the shade Boo Bear. And it's the shade next to Good Vibes. This matte shade, the third matte shade from the last shade on the first row. Just going to pack it on there. And we're going to pack this directly into our outer V. And I'm going to place it first so we can control it again. Because when you're using these deeper shades like this, you want to place it before you start blending it. Depends on how you want to place it, because I don't want mine to go all the way up and blow out. So I like to place first and then start blending in the area that I want it in. So now we're going to start blending it. And I blend with the tip of the brush when I start blending so I can control it just in that outer V area. Unless I'm trying to just blend it upwards. But in this case, in today's look, I want to just blend it in this outer V area. So I'm just going to blend it in circular motions with the tip of the brush. And you can do your circular motions backwards and forwards. So I do it in both directions because I feel like that gives you a good diffusion of the shadows. Take a little bit more of Boo Bear. And we're going to flick it on the lid closer to the outer V. And it gives you a little more dimension in the area on the eyelid going towards the center. We're going to still blend. I'm liking it. So now we're going to deepen it up just a little bit more. And we're going to take the very last shade in the palette on the top row and put this directly on the tip of the brush as well. And place it directly on top of the last shade, but not all the way to the outer V. Just like right here on the lid towards the outer V, but not directly on it. And I do this so when I start blending, most of the shadow is still right in that outer V and not so far out that when I clean from under my eyes, I wipe the shadow off. So I like placing mine like directly close to the outer V. And then blend with the tip again. Because like I said, once you start cleaning it, whether you're using tape or, you know, the method I like to use is using a makeup wipe with some micellar water. It'll clean up the areas here rather than wiping the shade because it's going down the lid. But I'm loving this so far. And just continue to blend. And continue to blend a little more until you get these edges blended really, really nice and nice. So we're going to continue with this. And up in the crease, make sure it's diffused. Cool. So now we're going to place our matte shade on our lid. Black shader brush, black shader brush. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to take this Real Techniques flat brush. And this is the, I didn't wash it so much the name has come off of it. But it's this purple flat fluffy brush. And we are going to take this shade. Let's do just barely because I don't want it really, really white though. Let's take the shade we put in the crease area, just barely. And we're going to pop this on the lid area. Right in this area. Going towards the outer V. I'm going to take a little bit more for the other eye and just pack it. And I'm going to go over the deeper shade just a little bit so we can make sure it's transitioned really well. And up into the crease area. I'm going to take a little bit more because of that base to make sure it's set and pack it again on that area of the eye. And a little bit more for the other eye. And right up in that crease. So now we're going to go back in with the ColourPop brush. And what I want to do now is these two shades, the last two, kind of just put them on the tip of the brush so we can make sure that shade is still there. And once again, you want to stamp it close to that outer V, but not directly on that outer V. And then we're going to just make sure we pack it really good. And then lightly blend. You don't want to blend too hard. You just want to make sure you're adding a little more depth back into the eye look. And then lightly blending. So now I am going to clean the brush off, the same brush, and then just blend everything else in the crease area. Because you do want to make sure that all of your shadows are blended together. And just making sure everything is like really, really blended really good. And this is an easy, everyday matte eyeshadow look that you can wear every single day. And you can switch the lid up to maybe even lighters or the crease even up to deeper, however you want it. But this is like a really, really easy, simple matte eye look. So now we are going to take the, I'm trying to put my fluffy brush. Let's take the Morphe Y15 brush. And it's just this gold brush. I don't think they sell this series anymore. But we're just going to take the lighter shade, the first shade in the palette. And we're going to pop this in our brow bone area. And we're just going to place it. And I like to pack most of mine right here towards the tail. Take a little bit more, because I like that really, really highlighting effect. And then pack what's left going towards the inner brow area. And I like to stamp it first before I even start blending it. Do the same thing for the other eye. You want to pack it. And I like this because not only does it give that highlighting effect, but it really sets the concealer that I use to carve out my brows. And then I'm packing the rest, what's left on the brush. So now we're going to just lightly blend those two shades together. Give that nice, beautiful transition from those two shades. And then your eyebrows are not just standing out and not blended from the concealer. And I like to go backwards and forwards with my circular motions to make sure everything is blended well with that top area right up under the brow. You don't want that harshness under your brow where it looks like your eyeshadows are separated from your highlighting shade. So I'm just continuing to blend. I love it. So this is going to complete the eye look. I love how everything came together. So now I'm going to take my wipe with my micellar water so we can zoom in to look at these shadows. My norm, I like to wrap it around my finger. And I like to do it this way because it gives you that sharpness as if you use tape. Because I can't use the tape because I have like extremely, extremely sensitive eyes. Because I have dry eye syndrome. And I have to be really, really careful what I put around my eye area. And we're just going to make sure we just clean up everything else around this eye area. And I like it though. It's like really, really pretty. But when I used it in my last video, I kind of figured it was the base. Because I never really had any issues with Morphe eyeshadows. So I think that should do it. Zoom you guys in a bit. This is what it looks like close up. I'm just going to take my color prop brush. Y'all know I like to do this because I can actually see what needs to be blended. We're just going to lightly blend. Okay, this area. And the same for the other eye. And again, I'm blending backwards just to diffuse it out that way. And continue to blend a little bit more. And I know this is like a little extra, but I'm just real funny about my shadows because they're my favorite. So, you know, I mean, bases are like the bomb. You gotta have a nice base if you got a nice eyeshadow look. But eyeshadows, in my opinion, is the eye catcher. if that makes sense. So that does it for the eye look. I'm gonna hop off camera, finish the rest of my face, and I'll be back to show you guys my final look. See you guys in a bit. Welcome back. So this is the final look. I do love how the eyeshadow palette performed this go round using the Juvia's Place eyeshadow base rather than the Revolution Pro, because the formulas are totally different. This one is more greasy on a thicker side. I think this concealer will probably be better used to carve out eyebrows, like the jar that I love carving them out with. I thought I had it in front of me. I cannot find it. But the consistency of this one is like really, really thick. And again, I think this one would be better for carving out brows and stuff, like really sharp brows. but the Juvia's Place one, it really worked well with the eyeshadows. And again, this is the palette, and I do like this palette. This is a nice everyday palette too. You can use this palette every day. You can get soft looks, bolder looks, daytime looks, nighttime looks, whatever you're looking for. This is the perfect palette if you're not into a whole lot of colors, or just not yet, like I was at first. But I like this palette. Like I said, the formula is really good. It was just the base that I used when I first used the eyeshadow palette. So I'm definitely going to keep this out on my bandit as a staple, so I can continue to use it more. Because like I said, on these quick looks like today, that does not take long. It's an all matte look. This look will go with like every single thing you wear, no matter what you're trying to wear. The only thing I did different, I popped some Makeup Geek highlighter in my inner corner. Just gave it a little pop. That is it. I did not apply any shadows on my lower lash line. And a lot of times I don't do that because my eyes are already small. And I feel like when I do that, it closes my eyes even more. So a lot of times I don't do it. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I don't. But again, I do love how this look came out. I love it. It's a nice everyday. So if you guys have this palette, let me know your thoughts on it. If you do not have it and want to try it, I would recommend it. This is a nice formula palette. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Goodbye.